we applied for an amendment to shift those two residual amounts to the website account in closing out '06. And that was to get us an analysis of our website generally and what we ought to be doing to upgrade it with all the stuff that's going on, as well as to be able to get the downloading feature. Now, that one went into the system somewhere, and I don't know if it's come back yet. Secondly, having thought about that and thinking about '07, the one we're in now, we said to ourselves, maybe we should ask the question about whether or not we ought to amend '07 in the same way. And again, this is not a predetermined thing. This isn't something we've done. It was basically, does this make any sense? And as we looked at our '07 elements, we had in it about $4,000 or $4,400 or something for a familiarization tour from Japan, much like we've been doing over the last 8 or 10 years. While those programs have gotten us a lot of publicity in Japan, we're not sure that that's the most effective thing for us to be doing. So in the suggested amendment, we basically said, why don't we leave international to Karen until she comes to us and asks us for help, and take that money and do some of the modern upgrades for the web. We left in the one trade show that we've done in the past. We're coming up on edition 3 for the guidebook. Again, this number could be wrong. It may be too high, but in any event, if we go online with it, we're going to need to print fewer copies. And the other thing that we're talking about doing is taking the real estate part out of it to make it smaller and do the real estate piece of it as a separate publication that you're not involved in at all. Because one of the things of concern last time was that was getting to be too big a piece of a tourism book that didn't quite fit your profile. Number 6, I think Debbie was the one talking about valuable use of a PR person to get writers. That's been suggested to us by Teton Springs. They would like to make their facilities available to us to attract their PR firm to find writers for us. So the number in here is basically a split between fan visitors, like the golf thing that's coming up in June, or PR writers to write about us. Last but not least, with the whole branding effort having gone on now 5 years, we think that maybe it's time for us to back up and say, okay, have we got the right branding focus? And if we do, you know, maybe we'll just dust that off and look at it one more time, and we're contemplating bringing Roger Brooks back to do that one more time. If we do it, I'm sure the community would would pay for 2/3 of it. So that's the end of the story.
Then none of your match funds are coming from the public relations and press releases that Don Wells generated.
I was kind of afraid somebody might bring that up here. Well,
I thought you'd have someone
since
there
you
to get her a camera.
Since you visited, it's gotten a little worse, if that's possible. My understanding is, as of this moment, the rest of the building that you saw, even including these studio for showing movies, have been rented to doctors and various other people that have nothing to do with the film industry. She went on the View national television program a week or so ago and had a lot of really nice things to say about the people in Driggs and all of the bad things that we've been doing to her, and including, we thought, a slam at ITC for what she thought she was going to get last year that didn't get. But in any event, she has not improved her public relations with all of us a lot. We understand there's another dialogue going on about the conditions of the lease and whether she can stay there. There's a lot of different views about that.
That's all right. You know.
Yeah, we found out. But anyway, if
you labor her, I just want to make sure you're not using her.
We're prepared to deal with it. I mean, we've always advertised her Spudfest before, you know, and we'd be happy to do that again as part of this pool. We don't know whether it's going to survive.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I have a question on page 2 on branding Teton Valley. And air service, direct air service. Tell me about that.
Well, we spent a lot of time when we first got there with Horizon and Northwest and with United trying to build schedules from Asia, because we have an active Asian background, to get more direct flights for people coming in to get to Eastern Idaho. And surprisingly enough, over the years, between what's happened between the various airlines coming into Idaho Falls and from everywhere, now Las Vegas, now Seattle, now they keep screwing it up a little every once in a while and making stop in Boise, but there's a significant number of flights coming into Idaho Falls didn't used to be there. Same thing with Northwest coming out of Minneapolis to Bozeman and down. And they not only come to Idaho Falls, but they come to Jackson. Jackson also now spends a lot of money bringing American Airlines and a bunch of other people on a subsidized basis into them. And from where we sit, we're 40 minutes from one and an hour from the other. And in commuting time, that's not really too bad in most places in this world. So, we think that one of the things we ought to look at if we're trying to brand Teton Valley or Eastern Idaho as part of it, we ought to look at whether or not we put a display in some of those originating airports. That may be too expensive for us. I know there's been others that have done this, and we'd be interested to see whether they think it's worth it. But that's one of our marketing committee people that suggested that.
Any other questions? Sean?
Yeah, Chairman Reed. Again, I've very much enjoyed my time up there, what we spent in your area up there. I do look forward to going back when there's not 4 feet of snow on the ground, though, too.
Well, it hasn't snowed since yesterday.
Good. Anyway, no, but that was, you all did a nice job there, so. In regards to this, I mean, obviously, there is a substantial, I guess, catch, match, contributions that are being showed here as a big part of this, on what you're doing here in regards to this over here. Am I under the assumption then that is, for instance, in your media thing over here, if you're asking for $20,000 inside here, your local contributions of $10,000, that you're saying that we're going to get $10,000 for this from the local side, and if we're not getting 10,000 support, then that item is going to go away?
No, what we're saying is that if we have seed money from you, in that case of $20,000 for advertising, we'll get at least 10 cash from the natives, and we'll go spend 30 on advertising. In other words, the concept here is, can we take item by item our relationship with you and say, here's an opportunity, folks. You're all trying to build your businesses. You're all trying to build your events. If you come to us with 50 cents on the dollar or whatever we can get out, we'll put something into advertising that event. And as long as we heard small events don't count, that's why we came early this morning. And I think that makes a lot of sense. We can screen them for what's likely to be effective. And I was really happy that I picked out someone that had 6,000 or 7,000 visitors when I picked this down here after listening to that this morning. But I think we can say, hey, look, you've got a nice little event. If it happens to be on the same day as somebody's having something that's bringing 5,000 people to the valley, good luck. We'll advertise the big one and try and get people here that day, but try and be qualitative about that. We're not going to go out and try and be everything to everybody. We're going to try and feature the ones that work in your definition.